This country is being destroyed by what they're doing. And you're talking about millions of people coming into our country, and we have no idea who those people are. And many of them are serious, serious criminals, murderers, rapists, drug dealers, human traffickers of women, mostly human traffickers.
Former President Trump on Wake Up America earlier this morning, calling out the Biden administration policies at the U.S.-Mexico border. The former president's comments come as Vice President Kamala Harris finally traveling to the U.S.-Mexico border today after months of criticism and making trips everywhere but the border. Texas Congressman Babin reacting to Harris's visit, saying 91 days too late. But I'm glad VP Harris has finally made the time to do her job as Biden's border czar and visit the southern border. Trump announces a border visit. Now Harris announces a border visit. It's no coincidence. Congressman Babin from Texas joining us here live on the program, co-chair of the Border Security Caucus. Good to see you, Congressman. Thanks for coming on. Vice President Kamala Harris finally making the trip. Is it better late than never?
Certainly better late than never. Great to be with you, Emma. But quite frankly, like my Democrat colleague, Henry Cuellar, whose district is down on the southern, in the Rio Grande Valley, she's going to the wrong place. I actually have been to the Rio Grande Valley where it's so terrible. The situation is out of control. I've also recently been to the El Paso sector as well. It's bad out there. But if you really want to see what's going on, she should be going about 600-700 miles to her east. She needs to go to the Rio Grande Valley to see what's going on. And, I'm not sure what she's going to see there. It's my understanding she's not even going to the Fort Bliss detention center. So who knows what she's going to see. And I don't know. It's just incredible to me that it's taken her this long to go. I think we can thank President Trump and his decision to go down there this coming week that precipitated the vice president to make her trip down there.
Well, the White House asked about that question. They said she was always planning on going. She just happened to book that flight for this week before the former president Donald Trump makes his own journey. But you bring up an interesting point, something that Senator John Cornyn also noted, the location as to where the vice president is headed, as opposed to where the border crisis is really at its peak. And I think we've got a visual representation. It was tweeted out there. You see, again, just the difference, the 1,000-mile difference between where she's arriving and where we're seeing those surge of migrants crossing into the southern border here. Is she going to get an accurate picture of what's actually happening based on where she's arriving in El Paso?
No, ma'am. She is certainly not going to get an accurate picture of what's happening in the worst sector, which is, again, over in the Rio Grande sector. She will not see the worst place. She needs to go to the Rio Grande Valley where you can see facilities that are packed to the gills, whether they're run by CBP or over at the HHS facilities. Secretary Mayorkas and this administration they've become experts at facilitating releases of thousands of illegal immigrants coming across the border and facilitating the movement of thousands of unaccompanied minors in a CBP facility stacked on top of one another, and they move them across a road or down the street or around the corner to an HHS facility, and then they'll show us a picture of empty pods that did contain hundreds and thousands of unaccompanied minors. They simply it's a shell game. They move them from one place to the next and then say they've got everything under control. Let me just say this, Emma. I just came from our Border Security Caucus meeting just minutes ago, and we were talking with an individual that used to work for President Trump, and it was real big in border security, and we have seen some things that are happening. The final dispensation and doing away with the Title 42, which is coming. They've already done away with Remain in Mexico. They've stopped building the wall. It is a deliberate attempt on the part of this administration And I hate to say the word malicious, but it certainly looks. I don't know how many more children are going to have to be dropped from the top of a wall, 14 or 15 feet high, in the middle of a desert. I've been to that section of wall where this 3- and 5-year-old were dropped. Kids wandering around, lost, being, having to be rescued by Border Patrol, by ranchers, and everybody coming across having to pay the cartels who have been enabled by this administration. This administration should be ashamed of itself for putting the American people at risk, having people literally die, wandering around in the desert, not just the American people, but the migrants themselves. I am for legal immigration. My own daughter-in-law is from Brazil. She legally immigrated here and became a U.S. citizen, but it's got to be done in the right manner. What this Biden administration is doing, Secretary Mayorkas, Vice President Harris, and Joe Biden himself, and the Democrat Party itself, they want open borders. They are endangering the American people. Yeah. They're bringing in a crime wave. It's just started. 1,000% increase of illegal aliens who have criminal backgrounds being apprehended by the border now. We have got to stop this. This administration should be ashamed of themselves, and they need to stop what they're doing and start living up to their oath of office to protect the American people, our national security, and uphold the Constitution of the United States. It's disgraceful.
I hear the passion in your voice and what you describe clearly as a humanitarian crisis, not only a migrant numbers-based crisis. And you know it. You're in Texas. You see it firsthand. Congressman Brian Babin joining us live with those details. Congressman, thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.